Guys, I just saw Presents. And as always, this is going to be a spoiler-filled review, so if you haven't seen this movie, save this video, watch later, and come back after you've seen the film. This was one of my most anticipated horror movies of the year, just on the trailer alone, and it super exceeded my expectations. As much as I love horror, I'm not really a big fan of the haunting or paranormal subgenre, and it takes a lot for me to want to watch that kind of movie. And all 3 acts of this movie felt very unique and exciting in their own right. If you're looking for something super traditional or scary, I'm not the best judge of what scares people, and I think this would be a great thriller to introduce your friends to the genre with. Because it uses haunting more as a method to tell the story, rather than trying to exploit cheap jump scares. Obviously, what makes this movie super unique is that it's haunting told from the perspective of the ghost. And what makes this work so well is that we're getting the benefits of watching this movie in third person and getting to observe these private conversations from a first person perspective. Honestly, I kind of forgot that the story was being told in first person, a lot of the movie, until it became super relevant. I want to liken this movie to other thrillers like Hereditary or Missing because I really felt invested in the story. And the characters, as likable or as unlikable as they were. So to work our way from the back forward, because ultimately, how can I talk about this movie if I'm not talking about the third act? The entire third act of this movie, my jaw dropped. I was gagged. I literally was standing there like, plus, I think no matter what else comes this year, Presence maybe has the most times in a movie where I've flipped off the screen. And what makes the twists of this movie so effective is that it's framed as a haunting movie. So you don't expect the evil or the danger to not be from the ghost. But damn, let me just give one moment to shout out the character Chloe, who's been through some real shit. How would you ever trust another person after that? Specifically, how would you trust another man after that? But really, anybody. I would never, and I mean, if I was her, I would never be able to trust somebody again. But the entire sequence from when the ghost wakes Tyler up and he's running up the stairs, it just felt electric. And I love moments in a theater when I can feel everybody holding their breath with me. And looking back, writer David Cope left the screenplay littered with foreshadowing. Perhaps my favorite moment being when Chris confronts his son saying, "Tyler, I know there's a great man inside of you, and I hope we get to see him soon." That's crazy! And obviously Lisa the psychic, who literally comes back to be like, something bad's gonna happen because of a window. I found her role in the second act very interesting because my gut instinct is, oh, is she good or is she bad? She'll either see the ghost or she's a fraud. And I think that brings it back to the whole feeling this movie leaves me with, is that both things can be true. She first clearly made eye contact with the spirit, but then also feigned an act at the end in order to get money. Clearly spirit sensitive, but also kind of a scam artist. Both things can be true. Just like Tyler, who sucked and harassed women, but ultimately stood up and saved his sister's life. Duality. In fact, I think the only character that I was fully rah-rah with the whole time was Chris, played by Chris Sullivan, who you know as Toby from This Is Us, was a fantastic father. And damn, Lucy Liu, I'ma say it, you were not a good mom. Maybe she was a good mom to her son, but not even that. The emotional burden of being you are the person in the world that I am closest with. I've never felt anything like this with anybody else, not even your sister, not even my husband. So felt super inappropriate. Why would you say that to your child? And even if it would be comfortable or appropriate for some relationships, it certainly didn't make him feel comfortable. But Jesus, everybody in this movie had a drinking problem. So, the spirit. Is it Tyler? Obviously, the psychic has that really great line about the spirit can't quite tell. There's a blend of past, present, and future, and there's confusion. They just know they're here to do something important. And then at the end in the mirror, we do see that shot of Tyler. But who's to say that that wasn't a different spirit than before? Lucy Liu had a really great quote about saying, it's not really about who the presence is, but how they are. Which I think is really cool because you do expect the ghost to be the bad guy. You expect to be, if you're watching a ghost movie from the first person, you expect to be the danger. So honestly, let's go. This movie is good propaganda for ghosts everywhere. So personally, I don't know if it's Nadia, if it's Tyler. And again, I don't know if it necessarily matters as much as there was a spirit there protecting them. The thing that I can't stop thinking about is what the fuck illegal shit was Lucy Liu doing? Like there was a whole subplot of there's this like illegal business and I'm gonna join you. I was thinking of leaving, but I'm gonna support you in it. And maybe I'm dumb, but I don't know how that resolved. I'm gonna be thinking about that for days. If there was like a super obvious answer to that, let me know. Part of me was thinking, was she maybe integrated in like the drug trade? Perhaps why she felt so guilty about it. But it sounded like she was in law, and Lord knows there's plenty of illegal things you can do with the law. Maybe that was just a red herring. Really felt bad for Chloe though. In sum though, this screenplay was fantastic. Steven Soderbergh had a fantastic vision with this film, and even between the like pauses between scenes, like you can tell that time is passing, but the sense from the ghost perspective is you don't really know. There is the sense of confusion, but never to the point we couldn't follow the story. Plus, I loved seeing how each performer interacted with the camera and the exact moment that you know they've made eye contact and that they feel your presence. Also, shout out to casting. Obviously, Chris Sullivan, Lucy Liu, and Julia Fox are names that everybody knows, but the majority of the relatively small cast, this is their breakout role. Their first supporting role in a feature film. This is Eddie Medeiros' first IMDb credit, and he rocked it. Honestly. And I hope Kalina Liang's career just explodes after this, because she had this sense of trustworthiness that I can't explain, and it felt authentic, and it felt okay to watch her make mistakes. P.S. Shout out to the sound design and the audio engineers that worked on this, because it was delightful and so clear where I was and how I was feeling the entire movie. I can understand if somebody wouldn't like this because it did feel like more of a drama at times and more of a thriller when it was definitely marketed as a horror movie. But I don't know. I trust in Neon. They're making consistently entertaining and new and exciting horror movies. And while Blumhouse fodder can be very, very fun, I do love a movie that when the movie finishes, I'm just like, ready to talk about it and think about it. Anyways, what did I miss in this movie? Please tell me if you guys have seen it. What are we thinking? What the fuck was Lucy Liu's job? Somebody tell me, please. One of y'all fuckers has got to be smarter than me enough to know what that meant. Moral of the movie, ultimately, don't trust men. And now I'm thinking, I need a new haircut. Anyways, if you like this review, me and my best friend Louie make movies videos like this all the time, so feel free to check us out. And thanks for spending some time with me today. I'll see you guys later. Bye.